wheels are falling off.
Yep. Not looking good. Spoke to a couple of Liverpool fans at work today.
It's looking great.
They're not
it's
pleased.
Looking brilliant.
From a Manchester United point of view, couldn't be any happier with that result, could you?
No, it was the perfect result for us. It was absolutely what we were looking for there. I thought Southampton had given trouble. I actually can't remember what I put in the predictions. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
Did anyone back?
No, I think I predicted. I think I put 1-1. I think
you did.
I thought it'd be a tough game.
I think somebody.
You put 1-1. Chris put 2-2. I put 2-2 as well. Josh, you had 2-0 Liverpool.
Too much faith in him.
And Lee will claim he put in 1-0 Southampton.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah, do you know what? It was fucking beautiful just watching them struggle all game. They were dire. One shot on target in the whole 90 minutes. Supposedly the best front three in the world, and one shot on target in 90 minutes.
From the small amount that I saw when I had it on in the background, that is it Walker Peters looked pretty decent. From like every time I sort of looked up at the screen, he was going on a little run or he was defending quite well. So it looked like he had a bit of a cracking game.
He got man of the match.
Did he actually get man of the match in the end?
Yeah.
Fair play. I reckon all of their defenders probably did a job though.
Yeah,
they
were outstanding. They had a young lad, Diallo, who's the brother of the PSG centre back. I haven't seen him play much, but he looks brilliant in front of the defence as well. But no, it was as a United fan and as an Everton fan as well, because it's always nice to see the Scousers lose.
Oh yes,
it was literally the perfect result for us. You know, we can go to Anfield 3 points clear if we do a job on Burnley.
So you've got Burnley.
That's why I use the word.
Is that your game after Burnley, Liverpool? Is it away at Anfield or at Old Trafford?
Anfield.
That'll be some game that will, if you go 3 points clear, because God, they'll want to close that gap, won't they? They want to prove a point. So I sort of hope that you do go 3 points clear just ahead of that game, because I think it'll make it a tasty one. Probably the best game of the year.
I hope we go 3 points clear, and then I hope we go to Anfield and absolutely park the bus from minute one. And nothing happens until the 91st minute, and then Bruno Fernandes falls in the box and we get a call, and we win from a penalty. And nothing would bring me more, other than beating them 9-0, that's the way I want the game to go. I want it to be boring as fuck, and I want us to get a penalty and win it.
You know what, right? It must still be painful. Obviously, I'm not a United fan, but I still feel the pain for you four lads over that Arsenal win against United. Because they basically did a United against you. One to forget about quickly. But I can't forget about it when you talk about penalties and winning 1-0 and parking the bus.
Yeah. That's the one I think that hurts the most out of all our drop points this season. That's the one that really hurts the most, because Chelsea, we underperformed, but we still got a point, and it's Chelsea, like they're still better than Arsenal. We were at the time anyway. I think Chelsea were near the top at that time.
Lampard was sitting pretty at that point.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Leicester, who was second at the time, good team, away from home. Our own fault. We should have killed the game, but they probably deserved a point on the way the play went. But the Arsenal game is the one, I don't care about the 6-1 against Spurs. I don't care about the 3-1 against Palace. We deserve to lose them games, and we deserve to lose them convincingly. We were shit. But the Arsenal game is the one that really fucking hurts. If you look at our results, or the points dropped that we shouldn't have dropped, we could be 6-7 points clear already before the Burnley game.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that Leicester one as well. The Leicester game the other week. Yeah. I thought that was there for a win. I mean, arguably could have really set the tone for that game within the first couple of minutes with Rashford and that header. It's a different game then if that goes in. But Yeah, I'd probably agree with you, Danny. I think the Arsenal one is more frustration at the way, well, Arsenal getting that result and then just seeing how Arsenal performed and how we've sort of performed since. It's yeah.
Talking about Arsenal,
it's frustrating, but
Arsenal are starting to string some results together now, aren't they?
So they should. They played West Brom.
I know it's West Brom, but we've all on these podcasts, and obviously we catch the games. We've seen glimpses of good football from West Brom this season.
Yeah.
When we played them, we got a good result against them in the end, but that was only because they went down to 10 men. And they still ended up scoring when they went down to 10 men to put pressure on us. They've got a couple of good players, West Brom. And I think if they could invest during January, I think that, maybe they might cause more problems for teams, grind out some better results. But that was not a good one for them at home to Arsenal.
Look at the results against the top teams. They only just lost to us. Like, they came to Old Trafford and made it really difficult. Yeah. Spurs went there and it took an 89th minute winner. They got a 3-3 draw against Chelsea. They got a 1-1 draw against City, and they've had a 1-1 draw against Liverpool.
Yeah, that Chelsea result, they should have won that as well.
Yeah, see, you can't go 3-0 at half time, and then you knew as soon as Chelsea scored one where that game was going.
Yeah. It's not going that way at the moment, though.
I'm not asked because they still shouldn't have slapped Slaven Bilic.
Yeah,
true. It's true. No matter how much we love the gravy train.
Yeah. you just know, the type of signings he's bringing in this month.
Phil Jagielka from Sheffield United. He's getting fed up with seeing Tim Cahill and Leon Osman on commentary, so he's bringing them in.
Nico Cranshaw's already on the phone.
Yeah. He's like a Harry Redknapp 2.0. He's gonna bring some of the old boys back in. Ivan Campos coming in.
Kevin Davis is coming back.
Michael Ricketts.
Oh,
JJ Okocha. Jaskalainen in net.
I bet JJ Okocha could still dance around most of the defences in the Premier League.
Yeah, 100%. He'd certainly dance around Yerry Mina. Gerald. You know what? Gerald is actually playing some good football at the moment. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Yerry. If he can stay fit, I think he could be pretty solid. He showed glimpses of class in that World Cup, but he didn't do it for Barca, and he didn't start great for Everton. But I think he has got something about him. He just needs to stay fit and carry on practicing his trade.
I think he's missed Michael Keane these last few games.
Yeah.
Like, those two are finally developing a partnership. I mean, your defence has been all over the show since fucking game week 1.
Yeah, that's where our worst injuries are as well. Coleman being out, Digne being out.
Yeah.
Digne.
I think Calvert-Lewin's gone a bit quiet the last couple of few games. I don't know whether that's the Christmas, fixture list just catching up a little bit with him, but just seems to have gone. I won't say off the boil, but I think he had an injury in the last game, I think, or is that why he got subbed off? Or
you know what it is, mate? It's playing one up front, lack of service. Mm-hmm. He's just not getting anything. The midfield that we're playing at the moment, I mean, playing Tom Davies, people are still trying to argue that Tom Davies is a decent player and that he had a decent game against West Ham. Like, he's quickly becoming my new Alex Iwobi.
You know what? I will defend him there. I thought out of your players against West Ham, he was probably one of the brighter ones.
He was the only one going forward in the midfield. That's why you probably thought he was bright. Yeah. He had an attacking mindset rather than passing backwards and sideways. Even Steve McManaman was talking about it all the time, saying Everton just keep going back. I'm laughing about it.
That we've had some dull games. Like, we've been very lucky. We've had some amazing games this season. We've had some dull games this season, and that is up there with. That was awful, your West Ham game.
It ruined my weekend. It really did ruin my weekend. I didn't want to watch any football after that. I think I did just to try and change my fortunes, but was diabolical. Dog dirt it was.
First half. Yeah, I watched the first half. Dog dirt. I didn't watch it. I didn't bother with the second half. I turned it off.
Dog dirt FC.
I was on it just for the Twitter. I was just winding up Evertonians calling Yerry Mina a fanny.
Yeah. You know what though, right? I'm still gonna say this. The lad that scored their goal, Fluke, He didn't mean it. It was a good forward run, but I think it just hit his right foot and went in.
Yeah, it was more like right place, right time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, got to give him some props for being in the right place, because they even spoke about it. Nobody else was making a forward run, and they wouldn't have scored if he didn't make it. So he got them the 3 points off that one move.
But West Ham had nothing until Antonio came on.
I do like Antonio. I don't understand why they start him on the bench.
He's been injured. He's been injured. First game back.
Unfit. Fair.
Yeah.
Because last year he was brilliant, wasn't he? He was
I still retain that he would be a phenomenal signing for your boys.
Yeah, who wouldn't at the moment? I know we were stringing some results together, but they weren't the greatest performances, were we? We were just holding pretty tight and solid against some of the stronger teams who were throwing everything against us, and we just managed to last out, which we can't usually do. So obviously he's doing something right.
Where you sitting? Is it 4th, 5th?
Well, we were supposed to play them, weren't we? And then obviously COVID ruined that. And they've probably got a get out of jail free card there. I don't know, really. If we'd have played like we did against West Ham, they'd have battered us. So I don't know who really got the benefit out of that. Maybe us getting a bad result out of the way. Sort of reset, back to the drawing board. But they're starting to play some good football now, aren't they? Really good football.
It's really fucking good against Chelsea.
Yeah. Like back to the old City. Imagine if they had like a proper inform Aguero up top the other night. Could have been 5 or 6.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, easily.
I thought that was a bit of an odd first half, that for me. I mean, City, the first 10, 15 minutes, I thought they looked bang average, if that. They didn't look that great. And then just a bit of brilliance. You know, the first goal went in, and then the next 5, 10 minutes after that, it's game over.
Yeah.
The game's changed, and it looked like the City of old, and it's a bizarre one for what I thought. But, you know, they are starting to, you know, pick up the wins now.
I'm with you. I thought, like, when De Bruyne missed that chance in the first, 5-10 minutes, I thought, here we go again. This is another City of this season performance. And then he just woke up all of a sudden and became the De Bruyne that we all know and expect.
Yeah, when I take him out of my fantasy football, yeah. Nice one. Nice one.
Yeah, they were lightning. Like, the counter-attacking was outstanding. Foden, what a fucking player.
I really rate him, you know. I think he's far better than the time that he's getting at the club. I know they've got some great players and everything, and they are giving him more and more time. But, you know, he's been there for, 4 or 5 years now on the fringe. He gets 5 minutes here and there, and then this season, obviously, a bit more. But I just think he's class, and I think he could be one of the best English players that we've seen in a long time. If he was playing 90 minutes week in, week out, I just think he'd be excellent. Maybe he needs a move. I know that Pep's teaching him his trade there, but I'd love to see him in an Everton shirt, so I want him to move to us.
I was thinking that then. It's like, yeah, he would benefit from a move, playing 90 minutes every week. But the only place he can go that would actually improve his game is Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to improve, no offense to your coaching staff, but he's better off training with City than he is Everton.
We've got a Lee Noble. Yeah. I saw the other day that PSG as well, sorry, on a completely different note, but I was thinking about players that need to improve, and obviously, like, Moises Kean was absolutely shite for Everton. He's gone to PSG and he's doing a good job over there. And apparently they've offered £31 million for him. Snap their hands off. I think we paid like nearly 30 million for him anyway. Recuperate your money. You've lost a bit on his wages, but he's not doing anything for us. Take the 31 and run. Good bit of business if we can get rid of him for that much, because he's not even worth 10 based on how he played for us.
No. Who's this? Tosin?
No. God, he's certainly not worth 10.
I saw someone...
He's barely worth 2.
What's that?
Someone was saying today that Tosun wanted, or someone wanted to reunite with Tosun Allardyce at
West
Brom.
I said West Brom 10 million on Twitter.
Yeah. It's like, get rid of him straight away.
If we could get 10 million for him, I would have that.
Didn't
West
he,
Brom would be perfect.
didn't he go on loan to Palace last season?
Yeah, and he was on the bench.
He was blank, wasn't
Rarely played, yeah.
he? And they had Saul off on loan instead.
Just needs to go to Turkey, don't he?
Yeah.
Go back to Turkey, where you're from. You were class out there. Sort of sort your career out. It's not working in England.
Similar story with Moises Kean, and it's some players are suited to the league, some people aren't.
Yeah.
No shame in that.
No. Another player that's well suited to a certain league, Lukaku. Wow. People are talking about Ballon d'Or for him now.
Yeah, but he did it for Everton and West Brom, though, didn't he?
And United for his first season and a half.
Yeah, but not as prolific as what he is over there.
Oh, no. This has been the best move of his career.
Yeah. Is it 50 and 70 games? 50 goals, 70 games, something like that?
Yeah, that's what I read, yeah.
Just
ridiculous, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if somebody's doing that I wouldn't really consider the Italian league as a top league. It was once a top league. For me now, I don't think it's a top league. I don't think many of them are. I think you're probably just talking Premier League and Bundesliga now. I don't even think La Liga's a top league anymore.
It's weird what's happening in the Spanish league, isn't it? Because Real Madrid are shit at the moment, and Barca are really shit at the moment. So, but then Atletico are doing all right out of it, aren't they? And the Barca are crying out for a striker, yet they sold theirs to Atletico.
I saw that the other day. It was like Ronald Koeman was like, we're just lacking that key thing up front. Imagine if he hadn't sold the league's top scorer.
Ridiculous.
He's doing well for Atletico as well.
No, he's brilliant. Like he was always going to do well for Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. Sorry, he was always going to do well there.
Who's top of the league? Is it still Sociedad?
No, it's Atletico.
Is it?
Atletico 2 points ahead of Real, and they've got 2 games in hand on Real.
Oh wow, yeah, they've only played 15. How's that worked out? They played 15. Sociedad have played 18.
Start as early as we did.
So it sounds like Collins' complaint of the SPFL.
You know what? It's a shame that he's not here to talk about that Old Firm derby. I mean, I watched it and I could talk about it, but I wouldn't do it justice the way that he does because he's so negative about the Scottish League.
When I said it in the chat the other day, and I was like, you know what would be great content? You watching the Old Firm. I honestly just expected him to go, fuck off, no. I was just like, I thought he just dead it on the spot. And he was like, yeah, go on then. I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah, this is going to be brilliant.
But he was on Twitter basically just saying, no update here. Nothing's happened. I think there was one forward pass. Rangers are trying and failing really badly.
Well, Celtic have proper pissed their fans off, haven't they? Because the very next day after that defeat, they jetted off to Dubai. Yeah. And there's that picture of Neil Lennon and Scott Brown on Sunday lounges next to each other having a pint. Like, wow, they've just gone 16 points behind, basically lost the league, not having 10 in a row anymore. But then the thing is, one thing that displays how shit the Scottish league is that they're upset that they're not about to win 10 in a row. Like, if you say that about anyone else, 10 titles in a row, you wouldn't be arsed anymore. Oh,
I don't know. It's a winner's mentality, isn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'd be gutted if United won 9 in a row and then we lost the Manchester derby convincingly. And then during these COVID times where we're not allowed to go and travel, like we can't just jet off to Dubai and go and sit on fucking sun lounges. They've lost the biggest game of the season, and then the next day they're fucking sunning it up.
Yeah,
that would really, really fuck me off.
It was talking about it during the commentary in the game. They were saying, "Oh, they're off on a trip to Dubai tomorrow," and in all fairness to them, I don't think that would be an enjoyable trip for a professional footballer. With a player that plays in Celtic has got, like you said, a winner's mentality. They'll be really, really seething and pissed off about that result. I can't imagine that they were on that plane, like having a couple of ales, like cheersing each other and really looking forward to the trip. I reckon they're thinking, fuck, we're going to get a beast in here. Like we are going to get thrashed in training.
Do you know what? I think the only one that probably was like that is Scott Brown.
Yeah.
Because he fucking bleeds the club, doesn't he? But you look at that Celtic club now, and very little Scottish players that are asked.
Yeah.
Neil Lennon's is 100% getting sacked. I mean,
Yeah,
there's losing a title and then there's doing what they've done here. This is embarrassing.
Do you know, I was thinking about this the other day, like when it comes to, like you just said there about Scottish players not being as many in the Celtic team anymore. So when you think about it, the Scottish national team is actually starting to get quite a few decent players in it now. So you've got that Billy Gilmore from Chelsea who looks pretty decent. And you've got Scott McTominay, John McGinn. You've got the two left backs who both play in St. Tierney and Robertson. So they've got some really, really decent players now. And it makes you think, is the standard of player in Scotland getting better to the point where they don't want to play in the Scottish League anymore? They want to play in England, essentially. Because otherwise, and that's kind of at the detriment to the clubs in Scotland, but to the benefit of the national team. Because the national team is ultimately, well, they're in the Euros. They're in our group this year. So ultimately, they're getting better, but that means that their teams are actually getting worse because they're having to buy substandard players from around Europe instead of keeping the best Scottish players in Scotland, because the best Scottish players are now got to thinking, hang on a minute, I'm going to earn more money and play better football in a better league, more competitively south of the border. So I was thinking about it the other day when I was watching Chelsea, because Gilmore came out and thought, do you know what? They've got quite a lot of good Scottish players now coming through. So it'd be interesting. They'll give us a game, in the Euros when we play them. That'll be at Wembley as well, I think.
It's a game, but we'll put 4 or 5 past them.
You'd hope so. We said the same about Wales, and they nearly did, didn't they?
I think the interesting comparison there is like with the American team as well.
Yeah.
With the amount of Americans that are fine, like the good ones.
I was thinking that as well, yeah.
Because like Pulisic is levels above the MLS.
Yeah.
Serginho Dest is levels above the MLS. It's a retirement home.
Yeah.
That's why Messi wants to go there.
Do you know what I heard earlier? This is a good stat for you. You know, City's reserve goalkeeper, Zach Steffen, that were played the other day in place of Edison. I think he is apparently the first non-bald American goalkeeper to play in the Premier League. Since Casey Keller.
Where the hell have you pulled that from?
Casey Keller was balding.
Football Twitter is not wasted on you, is it?
My boss told me that earlier. He's a City fan, so yeah, he told me, because obviously Brad Friedel and Tim Howard were both bald. They were the last two.
Tim Howard's got hair now as well. Oh no, he hasn't. He shaved it off the other day. He does a lot of beIN Sports on my completely legal streams that I watch.
Yeah, those legal streams. Class.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who is a good player and who do a really good job in the Premier League from that Celtic squad? That Edouard, is it? That's
striker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's a tank. He is a tank, and he's rapid.
Big volume.
Yeah, you know who we do a job for? Someone like Southampton or someone like that. I could imagine him in that red Southampton kit, just absolutely bombing past players and just bursting them off him because he's so strong. Like he must have some what?
Bombing past in the Southampton shirt, bombing past the Liverpool defence.
Did you watch that, Lee?
Yeah.
Do you want to discuss it? Do you want to go into any detail about what you thought about that?
I was about to say, we've already discussed it. Let's bring it.
Right. So, who is Thiago? Like, because he was terrible. He should have been sent off first and foremost.
Chelsea won it. That's the only one I know.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Well, he had about 3 second yellow card offences that weren't given. And I saw someone today say, at what time are we going to be expecting Thiago's passes and skills compilation from last night's game, lads? Which was a good one. So, yeah, he was terrible. Henderson and Fabinho look so exposed at centre-back when teams actually attack them, which is mad because people are saying, well, you can beat Liverpool by attacking them, which is fair enough because that's what Southampton did and they were brilliant last night. But also, Liverpool have got something like 2 points now from playing West Brom, Newcastle, and Southampton. They've taken 2 points from those games, which is shocking. And their away form this season puts them in the bottom half of the table. They'd be 11th in the table if you just went off away games. And I think that from looking at them at the minute, it almost looks like they're running out of ideas. So their plan to go really straightforward and direct isn't working. And I've never seen Liverpool cross the ball or hit the ball up top so often than they did last night. It was pretty mad, really. And Southampton were just lapping it all up. Could Liverpool have had a penalty? I'm not too sure. The handball for me looked like it was far too close.
The handball. It was about 4 yards away from him.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, if it was in the Champions League, it would have been a handball.
Yeah,
which is the mad difference in the rules. But either way, and then the contact on Mane by Kyle Walker-Peters, who was brilliant as well, by the way. Again, he just muscled him off the ball. Like, he didn't take his legs or anything like that. So on balance, I don't know why Klopp's coming out whinging about the fact that United have had so many penalties in so many years. If you look at this season, Liverpool and United have actually had the same number of penalties, and Leicester have had the most out of anyone. So I don't know why he's whinging about United. He must be getting worried that we're actually going to go above them when we beat Burnley next week. And City will go above them as well when they beat whoever their 2 games in hand are. But either way,
calm down. Calm down.
I just want Liverpool.
Just rein it in a sec. I want us to win that game.
Oh, is it you that they've got the high game in hand?
Yeah, because they had 5 COVID cases against us, didn't they?
Yeah. Either way, I'm not asked as long as we're above them. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I think that Liverpool look a little bit like a team. I don't want to say in crisis just yet, but they can't whinge about lack of players either, because they've got the full front 3, they've got a strong midfield, they've got the normal wing backs, they've got the normal goalkeeper. So they need to stop complaining, and Klopp needs to stop whinging. As for Hasenhüttl getting a bit emotional at the end, don't mind that. I think that one thing I see a lot is people going on about how brilliant football is at invoking emotions from people. So why is it okay for us to be emotional about the game, but then not actually see it from the managers and the players? Like, I think it's absolutely fine. And to him, a manager that was on the brink of getting sacked when they got beat 9-0 by Leicester last year or year before, to then pull it back to where it is and
Oi, oi!
Oh no, made me
Yeah, that's granted.
That's definitely going in on YouTube. Love that though, that you just got your scram delivered to you. Well trained.
So anyway, yeah, that's what I thought about the game.
I'm with you completely with Hasenhüttl. I can't believe that a 9-0 loss. We are sat here a year and a bit later, looking at a manager that's taking Southampton to Europa League places.
Yeah,
he's outstanding, and we've seen it a lot this week with Chelsea fans calling for Lampard's head, and we'll get onto that in a second because I'm still not sure where I stand on it. But we've done it with Ollie, where said he deserves to be sacked, and he's proved us wrong, and we're about to go top of the table. Touch wood. It does. Me and Collins argue about it all the time about giving managers time, and with Hasenhüttl, it was absolutely the right decision. Fuck me, what a turnaround! A note on Liverpool: Trent Alexander-Arnold gave the ball away 38 times last night.
Jesus, did he?
That's the most of any player in the league. He got hauled off. How many times do you see not only a right back, but supposedly the best right back in the world, get hauled off after 65, 70 minutes because he was playing that badly? And he was this off with the goal as well. I don't know what he was doing with the goal. He just kind of fanny jumped at it because he didn't know where the ball was going. It was weird.
Fanny jump. I wonder what the description for that would be in the dictionary.
Do you reckon we can get Nicole to do an animation for us to describe what a fanny jump is?
Yeah. Do you not think do you not think as well, like the usual saying, it's always sort of harder to retain the title, once you've won it for they had that thing last season where they've not won it for so long, and that was sort of part of the driving force of But obviously they were, no denying it. They were brilliant last season. But obviously this season they haven't got that. We haven't won it for 30 odd years. But obviously you've now got everyone chasing you rather than sort of the other way around. And like I say, I know the Christmas sort of fixture list is never kind, but
same for everyone though, Dale.
Yeah, same for everyone. Yeah, but do you think that sort of added pressure now on the team is sort of rubbing off not only on sort of the performances, but it seems to be getting to Klopp a little bit, sort of in the last couple of weeks with some of the stuff he's been coming out with.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it.
I know.
Yeah, I do.
He's not his happy, smiley self anymore, is he? He's a man. He's a man who's got a bit of, I don't know, he's like a man damaged or something like that. Like there's something not quite clicking there for him, and I'm sure he's not changed a thing really, has he? I'm sure he's doing exactly the same as what he was doing last year, but the team's just not got that edge anymore, like you said.
Borussia Dortmund had this though.
Yeah.
Borussia Dortmund had this when they got so far, they reached so many finals. I know he bottled all of them, but I think it came to a point where weren't Liverpool last year called the mentality monsters? Like that mentality isn't here this year. And like you said, Dale, it's hard to fucking do it because they've already done it. It's hard to stay hungry for that much success when you've already got it. And that, in a weird way, is where I argue with Celtic that it's so impressive that they won 9 titles in a row. Because it must be difficult. And then even more impressive that Rangers are going to break it this year and break it with some bleeding record. Like, it must be mentally, tough for a football club to turn around what they've done. But you know what? I'm going to fucking love it if we go to Burnley and beat them. And I'm going to love it if we go to Anfield and beat them. Imagine 2 months ago when we came off that Spurs result and then you tell us, when you go to Anfield, lads, if you win, you'll go 6 points clear at the top of the table.
I know.
Stop it.
The thing is, it kind of feels like everything's falling into place as well for us to ruin Liverpool's home undefeated record.
Yeah.
They've not been beat at home since 2016 or something, haven't they? It must be something like that. But then it's almost like the stars are all aligning for us to do it. Now, you could look at the other end of the stick. We'll go and scrape a draw with Burnley and then they'll beat us. And then we'll be back to square one again. But on current balance with this United team, I don't see that happening.
No.
Where I once may have done at the start of the season, we seem to scrape out wins now without even playing that well, which everyone always says, the cliche, is the sign of a champion team. Now, obviously, we're not even halfway through the season yet, so getting a bit carried away, but we're up there. That's all you can be at this stage, so who knows? What could happen?
I find it mad, mate. Honestly, I after the first 5 or 6 games, I was like, there is no way we are challenging for anything. Getting stuffed against Spurs, being at home against Palace, and then the Arsenal defeat. I just thought it's mad. It's absolutely mad how we've sort of turned. I mean, we went out the Champions League, and like all these, what's he doing? Tactically, he's a mess.
That Turkish team, Istanbul.
Yeah.
When they beat you.
Yeah. And you're like, all these tactically, he can't do it, and I think we said I feel we've got one of the best squads we've had for a while with what we've got. It's just the performances were sort of matching that, but to turn it around and go on a little unbeaten run we've gone on, and to sit sort of second, only on goal difference. I couldn't have pictured that after the first 5 or 6 games. It's mad. But long may it continue and carry on, hopefully. But
I think on balance with everyone else at the minute, I think we've got the best squad in the Premier League. When you compare our bench and what we've got to bring on, Liverpool don't really have that depth anymore because of their injuries. Like right now, City are the same. When you look at United, one for Cavani's ban. If you look at the bench who we've got to bring on, who can change a game, you've got Van der Beek, you've got Mata who can still do a job, you've got Greenwood. if like Martial or Cavani or Rashford or Cavani, whoever's started. And then even the defenders that we can bring on to add the strength through youth, like Twanzebe, is a brilliant defender. Tellez, if Shaw's started, or Shaw if Tellez has started, like the bench, our bench is the strongest it's been probably since Fergie left. And I don't think I'm over exaggerating with that. The only problem is, well, I say it's a problem, but it's something we need to keep an eye on, is making sure that everyone stays fit. And at the moment, things are positive. Cavani's got a ban, but that's, well, we won't talk about that. I think it's a bit ridiculous, actually. But then I think Ollie said yesterday in his press conference that, or was it today, Phil Jones is the only injured player in the Man United squad now.
What a surprise!
Yeah, surviving another transfer window. But yeah, that's, you've got to say, testament to the backroom staff as well, and the physios and the doctors and the sports analysts and therapists and things, like, who rarely get a mention, let's be honest. But to keep a team like United's as in a good condition like that, obviously we've been lucky with injuries in games and things, but through a busy period, and it's only going to get busier, which is the only other worry, because we'll have FA Cup starting this weekend, and we've got the Europa League coming up that we'll have to travel to Narnia to play games on a Thursday night, and Carabao, luckily that's nearly over, but City will probably beat us tomorrow night. And do you know what? I'm not really that bothered if they do. Like, one less game for us to play, and it's their trophy anyway, and it, like, the Carabao Cup is to City what FA Cup is to Arsenal. So I'd like the silverware, but at the same time, Ollie likes losing semi-finals, doesn't he? So we'll probably lose tomorrow night. So yeah, it's positive.
It's a massive testament. There's one stat which is backing up everything you said. Eric Bailly started the last 4 games.
Yeah, I forgot about him. And what player he had easily his best match in a United shirt the other night.
He has been phenomenal. We've finally found Maguire's partner.
Yeah,
I've always rated him.
I've said from day one that he is our best centre back. Bar none. He just can't keep himself fit.
Yeah.
And that is, like you said, it's testament to the fitness staff, to the physios. We're in probably the busiest period of football I think we've ever had. And we've got one injury, and it's not a shock who it is.
Yeah, because he's always injured.
Even Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's probably played the most games he's played in a season so far for a while.
Yeah.
And also, on talking of improvements, how good has he been?
Yeah, very good. He's gone about his job quite quietly because everyone else around him has been getting on with it.
It shows that competition for places brings out the best in people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of where I want to segue into, like, transfer rumours and stuff, where we've been linked with Max Aarons.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
One of my most disappointing players this season, as good as we've been, is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think he's been fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
And his place is secured because he's got no competition. And I think someone like Max Aarons would come in and just do exactly what Tellez has done to Shaw.
Yeah.
And I'd love to. I think every player should have competition. You know, Cavani's made Rashford up his game again.
Yeah.
Van der Beek has got Bruno on his toes. Even Pogba. We're starting to, and yeah, it's transfer season, so he's bound to play well because he's always looking for a move. But fuck, if he wants to play well to get a transfer, but it leads us getting a title, by all means, mate, do what you need to do.
I think that's what's driving him, to be honest. I think we are where we are on the table, and he's looking at that thinking, oh my God, this could be my swan song. Like, win United a title, and then they'll get loads of money for me. I'll get loads of money from it.
Yeah.
I'll get a massive move to Real Madrid or somewhere, or back to Juventus. Like, it's win-win-win for everyone if we win a title with him and playing well in the team, because he'll be back to his World Cup winning days if that happens. So, but yeah, I completely agree. I think that the squad depth is an important one. That's why we're playing so well at the minute. And I mean, Bruno Fernandes is he's the best player in the world right now, I think. Like, on balance, who's better than it? Certainly the best midfielder in the world.
I was going to say that there's only one name for me that sticks out, and I think it's the one we're all thinking. No, it's not Lionel Messi, Josh. Put that A down.
It's Lewandowski.
It's Robert Lewandowski,
Yeah. Just purely because of the amount of goals he scores, but...
No, shy.
Would he score that many goals in the Premier League though? That's the thing, and
yes.
Well, he probably would, yeah, because he's class. But yeah, I think.
But then again, actually, we said that about Timo Werner, and look at him this season.
Well, yeah, and Havertz.
Yeah,
terrible this year. But yeah, in terms of transfer rumours, I think one issue. There'll be a couple of players. I think there'll actually be 3 players in the world right now who will be watching United thinking, I've missed my chance there. One of them will be Jack Grealish, because unless Pogba leaves, we won't sign him. The other will be Jadon Sancho, because none of us want him anymore. We don't need him anymore. I don't think that, depending on how Amad Diallo is when he comes in, he might be the future of that right wing. He could be shit, you never know. But at the same time, we're not spending 100+ million on Jadon Sancho now, without a shadow of doubt. And the third player, who arguably I think is probably the most gutted, because he was one of the front runners to sign for United not so long ago, before Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho came on the radar, was James Madison. Now, he is having a brilliant season, and he's banging goals in left, right, and centre. And there's interview after interview of him saying he's a United fan, and like, I think that he'll probably be the one that misses out the most, because there's almost no chance we would sign James Madison now ahead of any of those players anyway. So, which is a shame, because I really like him, but yeah,
I think Madison though, he's in a better place in a better squad. Like he can go and be Leicester's talisman. Like Vardy's 33 now, coming on 34. Madison will be the future of Leicester, and if Brendan Rodgers keeps on doing what he's doing, Leicester's not a bad club to be at.
No.
Aston Villa, are they going to keep up this season what they've been doing?
They could be last season's Sheffield United.
Yeah, and then
do it
next
this year,
season
next
they could be this season's Sheffield United. For all we know.
No, they won't. It won't go that badly for them.
No, I don't think any club will go as bad as they have.
No.
Sancho scored his first Bundesliga goal this season on weekends.
There you go. Greenwood's got more
20
than
million,
that,
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Has he been injured, or is he just not performing?
He did have an injury, but he hasn't been great. But Lucien Favre just completely lost Dortmund, didn't he? Like, he had him playing some mad formation. He was playing people out of position. And he just didn't suit. So it was clear as day that it wasn't working for Sancho. Hopefully it turns around for him, because obviously I want the best for him, because I want him to do well for England.
Yeah, same.
But we'll see. I don't know though. Was there been any other mad January transfers that we've seen?
Sammy Khedira to Everton.
I heard this on Talksport.
Yeah, I heard this.
What's going on here?
He keeps getting linked to us, but I think one of the other things that I saw was that he was interested in move to England, and he wanted to talk to other clubs. And I think that's a bit more realistic for a player like him, because if he comes to Everton, word online is that he's going to have to take a pay cut. And I imagine that to be true. I know that we've got money now, but he's probably on a massive crust. Yeah. So I know what he's doing. He's trying to shore up the midfield, isn't he, with that type of player. We've got Allen and Decore there. If we had Khedira as well, I mean, I'm not even really sure if we need him. I like Gomez. I'd like to give Gomez more time. I think when he came on against,
I like him.
When he came on against West Ham, for me, he was our best player on the pitch. Everything he was doing was perfect for his position. And he's starting to, if he can get his fitness back. He had that horrible leg break. He's had a couple of bad games at the end of last year where people were saying he came back too fast and he wasn't fit. But I reckon this could be his year if he can just settle in a little bit more and get some more time on the clock. I think he could be the third man in that midfield. I don't think we need to invest in midfield. I think we've been linked with Aarons as well, heavily linked with Aarons. Because Coleman's obviously getting on a bit, so they see him as our main right back. And we've got Ben Godfrey there as well, who used to play with him, probably his mate, talking in his ear, trying to get him over to Everton. So we're linked with Aarons. Sammy Khedira, we need a striker. We definitely need a striker, because one up front, DCL, as we said earlier, Dale, one striker up front, he can't do it on his own. Yeah, he can hold the ball up. Yeah, he can take it down well. He's got great control. He's got everything for me, but he can't do it when he's running up against 2-3 defenders every time.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he's still learning the game, isn't he? I mean, he's still young. He's only really been in Everton's first team properly for the last 12 months, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, he has come on a lot since last season.
Yeah.
He's massively improved, but he's still at a young age. If you could get like someone a bit more experience in there, sort of in that position to, you know, show him the ropes a little bit as well. Obviously with a touch of class in there, but yeah, I think you definitely need another option.
You know what else we've been linked with? One I saw today. Sorry, Ancelotti's been inquiring about a 12. I think it's a 12-month loan deal, or probably more likely to the end of the season for Christian Eriksen.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And he's been linked
floating around a lot,
to West Ham as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I've seen Ajax and Wolves are looking at Christian Eriksen. I feel sorry for him because he was desperate. If you watch that Spurs documentary, he's like desperate to get away. And then he's got his move and it's just been awful. It's just Inter Milan taking on the exodus of ex-Premier League players and he's just not hit it off at all. So would he? I think maybe he suited life in the Premier League a little bit. I don't know how because he's quite a slow player, but he seemed to work for him, didn't it? But
he's like Gilbert Sigurdsson.
6 months though. These last 6 months, he was fucking dreadful.
That's because he wanted to leave, though, wasn't it?
Players want to wait, don't they? They either want to leave and they play shit, or they do what Pogba does, wants to leave and finally turns up.
Yeah, it is weird.
You could argue the whole Tottenham squad at that time was shit.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just him, was it? I mean, no, there
was a lot wrong.
Pochettino got the chop as well, didn't he? And they were just not performing, any of them whatsoever. But
was there any truth behind his wife going behind his back with, was it Alderweireld or someone like that?
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Black Eye suggests otherwise. Sylvester suggests it was true, but we'll never know.
Yeah, because apparently his wife played away with. I'm sure it was Alderweireld or someone.
No, it was Vertonghen, wasn't it?
Vertonghen, that was it. Yeah,
because that's why Vertonghen left.
Yeah. So I mean, if I was Christian Eriksen and my wife had played away with one of my teammates, I wouldn't want to stick around either. Nor would I want to play my top football for a club. I'd be going truly foot out the door.
Well, I'll tell you what, Josip Ilicic, who fucking went home and found out that his missus was cheating on him and he slipped into depression.
Yeah.
Well, he just started playing again. Nipping back to Everton, where you said about you need another striker who, realistically...
Go on, Lee. Why don't you answer the question?
Well, yeah.
I honestly
that's the only name
perfect for Everton.
Who's that, mate?
Olivier Giroud. He would be perfect for Everton. I don't understand why. They must have looked at him, but he mustn't want to go. He probably wants to stay in London, doesn't he? That's why he went Chelsea, Arsenal.
Yeah.
But, you need that kind of big hold-up player. And then, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin's quick and he would be happy to run onto those. His hold-up play is brilliant. But imagine both of them doing it and they can run off each other. And it'd just be class. And he's great in the air. Like he score loads of goals from corners, especially or even crosses like Digne and Coleman getting crosses in. He'd score loads.
Digne. Whatever happened to that Jovic?
Oh, he's at Madrid still.
The next big thing that everyone was bumming off, and I said, no chance he'll be shite, and hasn't played for Real Madrid because he's wank.
He was class for Frankfurt. Was it Frankfurt he played for?
Yeah, he was apparently.
And he's only young. It's weird that they've either not given him a chance or not loaned him out. Hazard has been rubbish.
Same as Hazard, he's had bad injuries since he got there, but he just doesn't seem to cut it. Like he plays that. What's his name? Mariano.
Yeah,
the one that famously took Ronaldo's number 7 shirt.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Like the players that go to Madrid and just don't quit it. I thought Hazard would be amazing for them, but maybe
Sergio, is it Asensio?
Asensio, yeah.
He scored, didn't he? The other day. I don't know if it's his first one back since injury. But before he had that bad injury, didn't he? And before that, he was class. So I'm hoping that he can sort of get back to his fitness that he was showing before that.
For Real Madrid, came back back end of last season. He came back. And I think he scored with one of his first touches back. just like showed his class completely.
And
he's brilliant.
Martin Odegaard's back from Sociedad now.
Yeah,
he's on a loan.
He's a good player though now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a very good player. I think they'll keep hold of him this time rather than loaning him out or selling him on. I think they'll give him a go.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot. I mean, I wanted to bring up the list of free agents as well.
Go on.
Oh, some
good players on this.
Like Ramos, Bernat, Vasquez, Ricky Puig, which I can't believe that Barcelona are looking at extending his contract. Messi, Aguero, Di Maria, Draxler, Boateng, Ozil, Memphis Depay, Wijnaldum, Alaba, Foden, Donnarumma, Modric, Andreas Milik. Like Milik would be a decent side to use on a free.
Yeah, what a good player. He's a great player, him.
Hey,
for Napoli he played for, didn't he?
The one name on that list that I am gobsmacked there's not a massive queue of clubs lining up for is Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Well, I've seen Everton linked with him.
He would be that would be a brilliant signing getting Donnarumma in.
He's only 22 or something, isn't he?
I swear he's been about 22 for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Well, he came through when he was 17, didn't he? So, but yeah, him and Mesut Ozil, like he would still do a job somewhere. I don't think he'll be in the Premier League. He'll go to Spain or he'll go to Turkey even. He'll go to Besiktas or someone like that.
I think he'd go back to Germany, you know. I think he'd have a little
possibly, yeah.
Go back to Schalke.
What happened with him? Oh, God, not Schalke. They'll be relegated. He'll be playing in Bundesliga.
I was hoping someone was going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
God, they're diabolical, aren't they? I saw their results.
Yeah.
Like a string of results. It was just like lost, draw, lost, draw. You know what that is, though? It's because John Joe Kenny's come back to Everton.
There it is. It all comes back. There's some fucking talent on this list.
What about Aguero?
I know.
I can't believe that they're not going to give him a new contract.
These players, 80% of this list will get a new contract.
That's what I'm thinking. I reckon if he doesn't,
the risk of letting someone like Memphis Depay go on a free.
Yeah. Stand up player for them.
At Barcelona, weren't Barcelona trying to sign him and they didn't have the cash for it this summer? So that's him going on.
They only wanted 40 million.
He's injured now, though, isn't he? Is he doing his ACL or something like that, I think?
I don't know. I know he did. I don't know if he's back or not. You might be right, though. But, like, Alaba going to Real Madrid.
Yeah, that'd be a signing. Yeah, almost, yeah. He's only 28.
Is that all? I thought he was older than that.
Yeah, he's been 28. Around for ages.
I know, because he's another one that's been around since
he's been 28 for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But what a signing he'll be for Madrid. He'll be class for them. He'll be a midfielder, won't he? He'll sit in front of the back four.
Well, I think that's the best part about him is he's so versatile.
Yeah.
He's so brilliant at midfield, left back, centre back. I mean, he's been that good at centre back, and Alphonso Davies has been that good at left back that Bayern have just been like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, go with it.
Just leave it as it is.
It works. We're winning.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think that he'd be a perfect replacement for like Matic or someone in United Central. That'd be class. Imagine like him and Fred or him and McTominay sitting in front of the defence with Bruno and Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Cavani all in front.
I'll tell you, by the way, I think I've said it once before on another week, but Fred's a different player this year.
He's been ridiculous. He's been one of our best players this season.
You know what? Go back last season as well. Season, he proper turned it right. His first season, he was god awful, and I couldn't believe we spent 50 million on him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really, last 18 months, he's been fantastic.
Well, wasn't he an attacking midfielder at Shakhtar? And then since he's come to United, he's sat back more, and his energy's ridiculous.
We did it with Kleberson, didn't we? The comparison with Kleberson is out there completely. Kleberson signed as an attacking midfielder, and Fergie was like, I need you to defend. And Kleberson could not defend. And Fred can't do it. Like, Fred has managed to adapt his game, and you know what? Fair fucks to him. Like, he's worked hard. You can see he's worked hard in the gym. He's, like you said, his energy. He's like Park. He's got a third lung.
Yeah. He just keeps going and going and going. I'll tell you one really shrewd signing that I've seen is in the works is Emil Buendia going to Arsenal.
I heard about this morning. They're looking at a cash and player deal, aren't they?
Yeah, either
like Reece Nelson, is it?
Nelson or the other young lad they've got.
Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, could be. But he had one of the top I think he was top 3 in number of chances created when Norwich were in the Premier League. And he was a great player for them, and I think he'd be brilliant for someone like Arsenal. And it's surprising that no one else is looking at him, really. It's the same with Max Aarons. Like, it just seems that it's United and Everton that may have been linked with him. I've not really seen any other people linked with him. And there was him, Buendia, and Todd Cantwell that were the 3 standout performers for Norwich. Sorry?
What the fuck's happened to Cantwell? I
don't know. Well, he's just gone down with Norwich and not heard anything of him. But yeah, I expected.
Aren't they? Norwich is still doing all right in the Championship.
They were close to top, weren't they? Yeah. Weren't they unbeaten?
I think they are top, if I'm not wrong.
First to second, I think.
I think that on the way it looks at the minute, those 3 I expected to stay in the Premier League. I thought that all 3 of them would.
I did too.
Would be sold, but
yeah, I did as well. It's an interesting one. Like, because Max Aarons at one point was being linked with Bayern Munich last season. Like Bayern Munich and Barcelona, and then Barca went and got Serginho Dest instead.
Yeah, which came out of nowhere as well. He's American, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think there'll be much business done in January, given that, the COVID situation and that, like Lee, you just said there, that Max Aarons, there's only a couple of clubs that have sort of been linked with him, and do you think that's the reason for that? Is the financial side of things, because of the COVID and whatnot? I mean,
yeah,
there's not really many sort of big, sort of great signings that do happen in sort of January time all that often. I mean, we had Bruno last year, but it's usually most of the better deals are done in summer. But
I can say,
Omar Niasse. Don't write it off. Lokomotiv Moscow, what a buy.
But just going back to that, there's January signings. I think Josh put it in the group chat before with Nemanja Vidic going back a few years, 7 million. And was it Patrice Evra as well in the same window as January as well? These signings don't come around that often in January, but
no, like you normally have one standout per league, don't you? In terms of big signing, like we had Bruno last year. The year before it was Virgil going from Southampton to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Which ultimately has brought them a title, so fair enough. Couple of years back, we had Juan Mata come in. Mata came in January.
Sanchez was a January transfer.
Sanchez, well, we don't want to talk about that one.
No.
We don't want to talk about that. The signings that are made, like you said, are normally the shrewd 6-7 millions. Vidic, Evra, Buendia, if he goes to Arsenal, I think that'd be a great signing.
It's like players that have not really kicked on at their existing club looking for something else, and the club buying them are looking for a cheap sort of stopgap for a position. That's why I think we'll sign Aarons this. But then would they sell him? Like if they're in a title promotion charge, would they sell him in this window? Probably not. And to be honest with you, I'm not really expecting United to sign anyone in this window. They've said that they're looking, apparently, but I wouldn't even be bothered if we didn't. We don't think, apart from a right back and maybe
that's not even a first team right back. That's a cover right back.
Yeah, this is just complaining about Wan-Bissaka because he can't play football.
And we've got youth that can play there. Like I keep hearing people around the club saying that they want to promote Ethan Laird. Apparently, he's meant to be a brilliant young player. But then you've got like Fosu Mensah that can play right back if absolutely necessary, and everyone else has had the legs broken. Twanzebe can play there as well, or even if you want to play a wing back, Dan James can play there.
Lindelof's played there.
Lindelof played there. So we don't desperately need anyone.
Can I just chip in about Ethan Laird as well? I loaned him for Crew Alexander on Football Manager last year, and he did a great job for me. Got me up the league.
Right, bring him up.
Alex. Up the Alex.
Get him in.
I can't see United doing much. I think with Diallo coming in, I think that's going to be our business done. And it was obviously done in summer, but I think we Marcus Rojo was on his way out finally.
Good.
I believe I read he's gone to Boca Juniors, or he's on his way to Boca Juniors.
Thank God for that.
I think this January would be a good time for United to just keep on continually getting rid of the dead wood.
Yeah.
Like if we could ship off another 2 or 3 players in this January, bring in Diallo, and then, like you said, bring through a couple of youth players, I reckon that's a really good January window. That.
Yeah. That's all we need to do. You don't want to disrupt the balance of the squad when you're playing so well. That's another thing. The bolstering of Diallo is everyone knew was happening anyway because the deal was done in summer. But I'm excited to see how he plays because everyone in and around like Atalanta and Italian football are raving about him.
Do you reckon he'll come to the first team?
Sorry?
Do you reckon he'll come to the first team, or do you reckon he'll go into the youth squad?
He'll do what Facundo Pellistri is doing, I think, because he's another one who's desperate to get into the first team. And maybe if we play a few, I reckon we could see players like Pellistri and Amad Diallo in the Europa League squad against maybe the shit teams that we end up coming up against.
I just think with 36 million euros, that's a lot of money to just throw into a youth team.
Yeah.
I think he's got to come into the first team for that kind of money.
Yeah.
Even if he just sits on the bench for most of the season and comes on 10, 15 minutes here and there, I think in that sort of money, that is first team money. That.
Yeah. I guess it just nods to his potential as well, probably.
Yeah.
I think that Pellistri is not a first team player for you. I watched a couple of YouTube videos of him and he looks like a rough diamond. Does look, if he polishes up, he could be a good player, but I still don't think he's going to be Man United caliber. Not at all. I think he's been bought on the cheap to sell for a big profit. I think he's a business deal more than a player for the club. That's what I thought of him before. Obviously, he could prove me wrong. He might come into the first team, be brilliant. But what I saw on YouTube, and I know those videos, they're not going to make videos of people playing shit, are they? And well, they might do, but I don't watch them. Another player that you were talking about, but Romero, I thought he would have been linked with Everton again. I thought we might have considered going down that route again, but he seems interested in just going for a permanent deal on Olsen. That's what I keep hearing. Like he's in talks about bringing Olsen over on the permanent. So
I think the thing is with Olsen is if he's quite happy being a reserve goalkeeper, if you're Romero, why would you be reserve goalkeeper at United to then reserve goalkeeper at Everton?
Yeah. That's the point, innit? He wants first team football. He's good enough for first team football.
Yeah.
Well, red card in the Tottenham game.
He's getting on a bit, isn't he, though, Romero now? Isn't he 33, 34?
I think so, yeah.
So I don't think he's going to be a first team goalkeeper anywhere he goes anymore.
I reckon
because unless he goes to like Italy or Spain and plays for a team lower down the ranks in those countries, he's not going to be a first team goalkeeper in the Premier League. Unless I don't know, he was to sign for a newly promoted team. Not this year. I mean for next season, which is probably why he's still sat at United, because he's probably on a decent wage.
Yeah,
he's getting paid to train very, very well. I reckon he's on at least 70-80 grand a week. So, and the rest maybe. So I reckon they've told him, look, we'll just let you see your contract out, and then you can go and if a club tries to sign you on a free contract when your contract's up, newly promoted, maybe someone like Norwich, or I don't know if who else is in the running to come up at the minute. Not really seeing. Watford are up there again, aren't they?
I don't really keep tracks on it, to be honest.
Yeah,
no, I don't anymore.
Second, and then your playoff places are Bournemouth, Brentford, Reading, and Watford, with Middlesbrough and Stoke just behind them.
God, I think it depends on the wages, though, wouldn't it, as well? A newly promoted team, could they fork out 100 grand a week?
No.
On a keeper?
I don't think he'd go for that.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, Norwich are 4 points clear there. Bloody hell.
Well, if we realistically, we think Norwich and Swansea and one of Bournemouth or Watford will come up. None of them teams need a goalkeeper.
No. To be honest with you, I don't want Swansea to come up again.
And his GoPro is still fucking smashing it. Which, if you've not watched them videos, by the way,
yeah, I've seen that.
They are phenomenal. Ben Foster's YouTube channel is an absolute piece of gold.
The player celebrated in front of it the other day.
Yeah. I was going to say that. Somebody definitely went up to a camera and started pointing at it, didn't they?
Yeah. It was incredible. Watford Norwich have still got Tim Krul. Romero is not going to replace Tim Krul. I think they're probably about a similar standard of each other. And Tim Krul is probably on less wages.
Well, Tim Krul's getting on a bit though as well, isn't he? He was at Newcastle and he was old.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't make me say it again.
I
can't be bothered with
He's been about 50 for 10 years, he has.
Get in.
I can't be bothered with Swansea coming back
up. They can just take Dan James back.
Yeah, Swansea, on loan. Yeah, they can have Romero, Jones and Dan James on loan. Bournemouth again. I'm quite impressed with Bournemouth because I was worried for them when they went down. I was expecting them to, and Brentford after the disappointment of not coming up. I was expecting Bournemouth to sort of cripple a little bit and crumble.
Yeah, we lost a lot of players
down. Yeah, they must have recruited really well. Who's the manager?
It's the lad who was the assistant manager to Eddie Howe.
Right.
I can't remember his name, but it's basically it was his number 2, and he just stepped up into the role.
Well, he must be doing all right then.
Yeah.
Brentford, I'd like to see Brentford come up. I really would like to see
just
Brentford
for a change of team, like somebody new.
It is nice seeing a new team coming up, isn't it?
Yeah.
For them to
because otherwise, the rest of the teams there are all usual contenders: Norwich, Swansea, Bournemouth, Reading. Even they've not been up for a while, but they used to be.
Yeah, Reading and Middlesbrough haven't been up for a long time, so they'd be another phrase.
I wouldn't mind seeing Middlesbrough back up. Stoke as well. I mean, everyone likes playing away at Stoke on a cold Tuesday night, don't they? So that'd be quite interesting. Yeah. Barnsley, imagine Barnsley coming up. That'd be good.
Barnsley would be a good.
Yeah, Barnsley. They were in the Premier League when it started, weren't they? I think. I'm sure Barnsley have had a season in the Premier League in the 90s.
The one that's impressive much is Blackburn sat 11th after their fucking demise over the years.
Yeah,
seem to just be creeping back up again now. Now
they're
to me,
on a recruitment drive as well. You know. Blackburn at the moment.
We're talking about teams that are maybe Premier League stature. To me, Blackburn should be there. You know, ex-winners.
Yeah,
sure.
Only 6 teams that have won the league, isn't there? And they're one of them. What happened to them is awful. So it's quite nice to see them coming back up again. I wanted to touch on one thing before we bring up Dick of the Week and we leave. Burnley lads getting taken over.
Yeah. Are they?
Do you know, I couldn't believe the price. What was it, 170 million?
Something like that, yeah.
170 million a Premier League club has been bought for. Chelsea spent more than that in summer. It's crazy. They must be the money that they're bringing in, in all the TV deals and stuff. They that's an incredible deal when you think about it. Yeah. They'll make that money back after 5 years in the Premier League if they stay up.
It's a really, really good investment.
Yes, a brilliant investment. I can't believe they were so cheap. I can't believe any Premier League club would go that cheap. Especially when you consider Man United would have to go for something like 3 or 4 billion.
Yeah.
Because of the commercial engine behind it mostly. But 170 odd million for Burnley is crazy. But what will it change anything?
Well, I was about to ask that question. It's I think Eddie Howe. Yeah, it's Eddie Howe. No, not Eddie Howe.
Sean Dyche
to be Sean Dyche, his husky voice.
Sean Dyche.
I've got Bournemouth in the brain again. Sean Dyche, I think he deserves this. He had massive kickoffs to the board last season. He was really at odds with wanting to keep players on a contract and sign new players, and they never give him any money. I think it's going to be interesting to see now he's got a bit of money. Obviously, I don't know what these new investors have got in terms of spending power, but I'd imagine it's a lot more than what they've had. They finished 10th last season. What can Burnley do?
Hopefully buy a decent striker. That's what they've always been missing. Goals.
Chris Wood's the man.
Yeah, he's the only one though, isn't he? I feel sorry for him. Like,
yeah,
give the guy a world-class player up top.
Yeah, I think that's one thing they lack, Burnley, is goals. I mean, defensively they've always been quite solid. I mean, especially at home. He does. He always sets up with that 4-4-2 formation. They play it really well, especially defensively. But where they do lack is a really good, decent striker up top. I mean, Chris Wood, I'd probably say he's the better one out of him. And is it Barnes?
Yeah,
up top. But I mean, would he get? What's he going to get you? 8, 10?
Not enough.
Not enough. And you need someone probably there to maybe double that, looking at like 15 easily.
They've got a few good players, Burnley. Like, you've got Tarkovsky's a decent player. Ben Mee's a decent player. Then you've got that young Dwight McNeil. He looks like a pretty good player as well. But
the keeper as well, Nick Pope.
Yeah, Nick Pope. Brownhill's looking decent this season.
Brownhill does look good.
Warrington boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, there was it.
You've got the other fella, Jay Rodriguez. Is he Burnley now?
I don't think so. No, I think he's playing
West Brom again.
Yeah, I think he's playing. Yeah.
Is it? No, I'm pretty sure he's a Burnley. Me.
I think you're wrong, Lee.
I'm having a look.
You know, who was that lad that they got from Villa? The right back.
Plays for Burnley. Jay Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Who? Sorry.
Jay Rodriguez does play for Burnley.
Yeah, Loughton, decent defenders. I watched Burnley against Villa a couple of weeks ago, and he was solid at the back, really good, and he was decent for Villa as well. But apparently, he left on bad terms with Villa. So I don't know what it's all about, but apparently, they were saying, "Oh, no love lost between Loughton and returning to play against his ex-team here." So it must have been pretty bad terms. I'm not asked.
I guess the key question is: are Burnley going to win the league in the next 10 years?
No. This is the thing, like,
hey, stranger things have happened, lads. Stranger things have happened.
I don't think they have,
5,000 to 1, Leicester City.
I think that, you know what?
Do you know what?
Even Burnley would always be 6,000 to 1.
No, I can't see it. I can't see anyone coming in and spending loads of money on Burnley.
Imagine Burnley lifting that Premier League trophy up at Turf Moor. There'd only be a couple of thousand there to watch.
It would literally be like playing Football Manager, wouldn't it? You've taken a really shit team up to Premier League and you've developed your stadium enough.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry, you can't come in this league. Your stadium's not big enough.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I like smaller teams getting taken over and seeing where they go. Like, competition's healthy.
Like Everton.
Competition's healthy in the league. Like, if we get another team like Southampton who are starting to push for the Europa League spaces, and it's another tough game for a lot of people, I'm all for it.
Wolves, Southampton.
Wolves are a great example.
Yeah. Leicester.
So I think this year we're going to see two of the main usual big six lose out on the Champions League spots.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be City, United, Liverpool, and then one of Arsenal or Spurs or Chelsea.
So only one of them is going to miss out then?
No, two will miss out.
I don't think Arsenal.
I don't think Arsenal will. And you know what? I think someone like Leicester could really push. It could end up being United, Liverpool, City, Leicester, top four.
In that order?
Yeah.
Why'd you keep ruling us out?
I did that on purpose. Again, you never know what the table's so close at the top. And the games are so weird and the form's so weird.
Because we've not got He's back soon. I think he's in training now.
You need him. It's what you're missing.
He's not all we're missing.
No,
we're missing Alan as well.
But he is a lot of what you're missing. He's a lot of your driving force going forward.
Yeah, I think Godfrey's done a great job at left back, considering he's not left-footed and he's not a left back.
I agree.
I think he's done a very good job. I really, really like him. I'm always very skeptical about Everton buying players because obviously last 5 years when we've had a bit of money, we've bought some diabolical players, some really, really bad ones. We've still got some of them. It will be. But I really rate Godfrey. I think he's top class, and I think he's going to get better. Yeah, and it'd be great to see him playing for England one day if he can really step up to it. So, Dick of the week. Dick of the week, boys.
Should we finish on our favourite topic of the week? Dick of the week. I'll read out Chris's nomination first. Richard Keys and Andy Gray. So, for those that haven't seen this, he went on a mad, almost to a personal level, fucking rant about United players falling over in the box in a desperate attempt to try and stay relevant.
Yeah.
And I've watched it. It was definitely more Richard Keys than Andy Gray. Andy Gray definitely tried to keep deflecting it, back to a neutral idea.
Yeah.
Richard Keys was just Rashford and Martial, they'll fall over if you blow on them. I'm surprised Bruno Fernandes is only given away because he falls over as soon as you brush his hair. And it's who the fuck are you anymore, Richard Keys?
Oh, sad.
It's sad. I remember when BT brought in Andy Gray for that one game once a couple of years ago, and it was so good because he's got such a good commentator's voice.
Yeah.
But he'll always be associated with Richard Keys, and Richard Keys is a cunt.
You know what, right? My dad absolutely loves Andy Gray for what he did for Everton back in the 80s. My dad always says, because season ticket holder, he always says, oh, Andy Gray, world-class player. Really, really good footballer. But when I watch him as a commentator, I just think, you've let yourself down, mate.
His commentary of Gerrard's goal against Olympiacos will always be legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane. I'll throw in Jose Mourinho for what seems to be a regular nomination for me at the moment. This week of him taking digs at Jamie Vardy and, more importantly, Bruno Fernandes when talking about Harry Kane saying, well, my striker doesn't only score penalties.
That's weird.
He scores a lot of penalties.
Do you know what? He is so bitter about his time at United now.
Yeah.
That he's slagging off one of his own home nation players. He is so bitter, and it's sad because I love Jose Mourinho, and I'd like to think that his time at United was a good time.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we got rid of him the way we did, but just move on, Jose.
Yeah.
Get over it. You're a fossil now, mate.
Because Spurs' title challenge has just come crumbling down a little bit. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's exactly what it is.
Right, who am I nominating? I think I'm going to... I've got two. One was a late contender today. So I'll do that one first because it's not that solid, but Adrian Durham on TalkSport. Adrian Durham on TalkSport today, whilst driving home, was trying to convince everyone that Ince was one of the top 5 Premier League all-time midfielders. And his reasoning was...
Paul Ince or Tom Ince?
Paul, yeah. His reasoning was he was bought by Manchester United in 87, I think, or 88, and or 89. He basically came in and helped United win their first Premier League title in 92. But he then said he was a better leader than Roy Keane. He also said he was a better midfielder than Paul Scholes, better midfielder than Frank Lampard. But then he named 5 midfielders that were better than him, but then still said he was probably one of the top 5 midfielders in the Premier League. So I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. So he's well up there for me. And his reasoning why he's better than Paul Scholes was a better passer of the ball, but Ince was a better all-round midfielder. No, not really.
No, he wasn't.
Andy played for... And he was asking the question, well, why is he not a big legend for United who won their first title? Because he played for Liverpool. He went and played for Liverpool, so shut up. Anyway, so that was my first nomination. And then the second one was Jurgen Klopp. After losing against Southampton, with a team who had his top 3 strikers on the pitch, whinging about not getting a penalty, only having 1 shot on target the entire game, and coming out and having a go at Manchester United, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that definitely deserves a mention in Dick of the Week. That I was thinking that.
So that's my
solid,
nominations.
solid choices. But Adrian Durham, knob of the week. Dick of the week.
Yeah. Have you got any, Dale?
Well, I was going to throw. I mean, I don't really have much of opinion on the Scottish football, but the Celtic squad, because usually Scottish football is just rubbish, isn't it? But flying out to Dubai the day after, the Old Firm. I was just like, no, the Old Firm. What they play it like 2-3 times a season. It's like the biggest game of the season. You're going to be flying out the day after. I mean, especially after a loss as well, and falling 19 points behind Rangers, wherever. I'm just like, no, it's just not something you do.
No,
just not that week. That week, the whole build-up is the Old Firm. You're not thinking about the day after when you're flying off and having a few bevies in Dubai. No. So, I mean, I know it angered a lot of fans, that, especially obviously with the result and how shit they've been this season. So, the old Celtic squad, staff, whoever organised it, a lot of them.
I was going to go along the same lines as you. I was looking at the Old Firm, and I was going to nominate, and this was for Collins because he can't be with us, and I know he loves the Scottish League, and I know he enjoyed that game. But I was going to nominate. I think it's pronounced Beaton, or it's near Beaton. I think his name is pronounced. It's spelled Bitten, but the commentators are pronouncing it Beaton. I think he's like French or something like that. Israeli, actually, I think.
You were nearly there.
Yeah, French, Israeli. It sounds a bit French. That's what I was going with. But yeah, I was going to nominate him because it's a derby game. I know that they were a load of points behind Rangers anyway, but they had the games in hand to at least put some pressure on them. And that, for me, was the key game that was going to gift Rangers the league, despite the games in hand. Now I think it's game over. And it was his stupid tackle that gave them that game, because Celtic came out in the beginning and were all over Rangers. Rangers couldn't cope with them. Obviously, they didn't score, but that was because Celtic weren't prolific enough. It wasn't anything to do with Rangers, really. And I don't think Rangers would have gone on to win that game if it wasn't for the extra man advantage. So I'm going to give it to Beaton for his stupid, reckless challenge.
Right, so
5 or 6.
Are we voting? What should we say? Should we nominate one each and pick?
Get it on Twitter.
So get it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon when we're completely split and we've all got an individual one each, let the listeners decide.
Yeah.
Good to me.
You're going to have to narrow your 2 nominations down to one key one. So who do you want to go for?
Oh, Adrian Durham. I'm not having Paul Ince as one of the top 5 midfielders in the Premier League history. You can fuck off.
Knob.
Honestly, I should. Oh God, I nearly rang in. I was getting so annoyed.
The thing is, if you were Collins, you would have rang in.
Yeah,
I was driving. I couldn't remember the number though, so I couldn't.
Collins has got it on speed dial, so when he's driving, he can just fucking ring him straight away.
Yeah. Right, lads. Nice one.
Yeah, top mate. Love that.
Well done for getting together tonight, lads. I know we've all been feeling the long work days back after Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
And being put down in a lockdown certainly affects the mental health, but we've rallied together tonight. And Collins would have been here if it wasn't for his hectic schedule as well. So well done, lads. Appreciate it.
I reckon we should try and get, like we did in the first lockdown, just try and get one of these as well, where we're not even recording. Let's just get on and just chat shit and drink.
Yeah.
Let's just have a laugh one night and just relax. I think it's definitely going to help everyone mentally.
Definitely. Right. Well, and I'd extend that message across to everyone listening as well. Like, we're in a lockdown again, so make sure you keep fit, stay active, stay safe.
Yeah,
I was here to the lockdown because I really would like to go to the pubs and on holiday again soon. So,
I was debating whether we should speak about this or not. But I think it's important. Like, even if one person listens to it and realizes that they should probably stay in, complaining about the rules. We can do whatever we want. We can moan. You can put whatever status up you want on Facebook. You can tweet whatever you want to Boris Johnson. It's not going to change anything. What will change things is staying inside, isolate, act as if you've got the virus, stay away from people.
Yeah.
The more we adhere to these rules, the quicker we'll get out of this again, the quicker we'll be able to enjoy the Euros in the summer.
Yeah.
The scientists and the Oxford have done amazing. We're getting this vaccine ready and started rolling it out. The sooner we all start behaving, because ironically, it's the ones that are complaining the most are the ones that are still breaking it. Yeah. It's like complaining about a food that you never eat.
Yeah.
Like, just crack on with it, and we'll all be out of this mess soon. But yeah, like Lee said, stay active, ring your mates up, do FaceTime, do Zooms. Get on. I'm not doing any more pub quizzes. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm all pub quizzed out.
I've had enough.
But yeah, just stay safe. If you've got to get out, wear a mask, wash your hands, do the smart thing, and we'll all be out of this in a better place.
Is that a late nomination for Dick of the Week? Or the
no
rules?
I got shouted at off one of my mates for using COVID as a cop-out Dick of the Week every time, so I'm not allowed to use it.
I'm not using COVID. I'm just using all the dickheads breaking rules.
The true dickheads of the week, like the ones that broke into that fucking church and had that rave.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Jesus Christ! And that the one knobhead that starts doing karate fucking stances. At the
yeah, and the bellends that went to that St. Thomas Church in London and took pictures in an A&E ward and reception, wondering why it was so empty. They don't keep COVID patients in A&E, you fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Right, and on that note.
On that fantastic note, Collins, cue the outro music.
See you later, boys.
Bye.
Cheers, boys.
Nice one for that.
See you later.
See you in a bit.